Gaming Bolt presents 12 Things Pokémon Go doesn't tell you. Pokémon Go is, at this point, a phenomenon, and the social factor surrounding it is big enough that you probably want to try the game out for yourself. The good news is, Pokémon Go is a remarkably easy game to get into. The bad news is that there are some nuances and intricacies to it that the game, shockingly enough, makes no effort to explain. Here are 12 of those, which may help you along your way to your very own quest to be the very best. Pikachu. The game ostensibly sets you up with choosing either Bulbasaur, Charmander or Squirtle as a starter as soon as you start the game, as they pop up around you, and you're prompted to catch one of them. But did you know you don't have to start with them? If you'd rather go the Pokémon Yellow route, or the one that Ash followed in the Pokémon cartoon, then you can. All you have to do is ignore Bulbasaur, Charmander and Squirtle and walk away from them. You may need to repeat this step 3 to 4 times, but a Pikachu will pop up in short order, allowing you to catch him and start out on your journey with him instead. Catching repeats helps. Once you do start out on your Pokémon journey, you'll realise that all that pops up around you is the same few Pokémon. You'll need to go to other locations to catch other kinds of Pokémon. But the good news is, even if you can't do that right now, catching multiple of the same kinds of Pokémon definitely helps. You see, each time you catch a Pokémon, you get 2 things, a type of candy corresponding to that species, and something called Stardust. You can use Stardust and that candy to power up any specimen of that particular species you may hold in your possession. Put simply, catching repeats is your easiest and also only way of leveling up your Pokémon and making them more powerful. Evolution. Candy can also be used to evolve your Pokémon, though evolution naturally takes a whole lot more of it than simply leveling up your Pokémon does. To evolve, you must have the required amount of candy, meaning that to evolve, say, your Pidgey into a Pidgeotto, you may need to keep catching multiple Pidgey until you have enough Pidgey candy. Once you have the required amount of candy, just pull up that Pokémon status screen and hit evolve, and voila! Combat power. Pokémon Go doesn't have traditional levels for your Pokémon like in the main games. Instead, your Pokémon's overall strength is denoted by something called combat power, which often shows up as CP in the game. The higher the CP, the stronger the Pokémon. CP can be increased by feeding a Pokémon candy corresponding to its species, as discussed before, and you will also find Pokémon with higher CP in the wild as your own trainer level increases. Trainer level. Pokémon Go gives you, the trainer, a level instead, which is supposed to be a quick snapshot of how well you are doing as a Pokémon trainer. You gain levels and XP by catching Pokémon, activating Pokéstops, battling at gyms, and just walking around with the app open. As your level increases, you will have more things available to you. At level 5 you can pick a team to join and battle at gyms. At level 12, you gain the ability to use Great Balls. At level 20, you gain the ability to use Ultra Balls, and in general, as your level goes up, you find Pokémon with higher CP in the wild, and you also get better and rarer items and eggs from Pokéstops. Pokéstops. Pokéstops are special points of interest marked on your map. They can correspond to stores, places of worship, fountains, statues, or just about anything in the real world. Pokéstops give you free Pokéballs, revives, potions, and even Pokémon eggs when you approach them and activate them, and they also refresh every 5 minutes. So if you're going to be hanging out in some place for a while, you can farm the same Pokéstop repeatedly. Transferring Pokémon. You only have the capacity to hold 250 Pokémon at once, including repeats, at any given time, though you can buy an upgrade with real-world money if you wish to. 250 may seem like a lot, but if you are catching a lot of repeats to farm candy and Stardust, you can begin to run out of space. Happily, the game lets you manage your Pokémon. You can transfer any Pokémon you don't want to Professor Willow, freeing up space. Transferring Pokémon also nets you +1 candy off that Pokémon's corresponding species, so it's a win-win all around, and an easy way to get rid of all those low CP Pidgeys you probably have lying around. Just remember though, transferring a Pokémon is the same as releasing it, and once you do it, you can never get that Pokémon back. Incense and lures. Even if you find that there are no Pokémon around you, you don't have to despair. You can use Incense and Lures, both of which attract Pokémon to you. Incense applies only to you, and it stays stuck to you for a period of 30 minutes, ensuring that Pokémon show up around you on the map no matter how much you move. So it's, for instance, a great thing to use when you're on the train or in the cab. Lures are applicable to a place, not a person, meaning that once you use one in a location, Pokémon will be drawn to that location for as long as the lure lasts, even if you yourself move away from it. So for example, they might be something you want to use while you're at home, or if you're going to be at a restaurant for a while. Lures also apply to all players in the vicinity, and not just you. Tracking Pokémon. When you're playing Pokémon Go, you will notice a little pop-up window in the bottom right of the screen. If you tap on it, it shows you some icons and silhouettes of Pokémon nearby that you can catch. These icons and silhouettes are accompanied by footprints. The greater the number of footprints, the farther you are from that Pokémon. You can tap on the silhouette or icon of the Pokémon you are interested in catching, so that is the only one your radar tracks, and start walking around, trying to find it. If the number of footprints increases as you are walking around, you are getting farther away from it. If the number decreases, you're walking towards it. Gym battles. Once you hit level 5, you'll be allowed to battle in gyms. You'll get to pick one of 3 teams: Valor, Mystic, Instinct, corresponding to Red, Blue and Yellow, as well as to Moltres, Articuno and Zapdos respectively, and you can then battle at gyms. If you see a gym that is unclaimed, you just go to it, and you're allowed to put up your own Pokémon there and claim it for your team. If you see a gym claimed by your own team, you can either train there, or you can leave your own Pokémon there to help defend it. If you see a gym taken over by another team, you can battle the Pokémon defending it, and if you win, you take over that gym instead, prompting you to leave your own Pokémon there and defend it for your team. As a bonus, as long as you are involved in defending a gym, you also get free Poké coins and bonuses every day. Trading. Trading is the cornerstone of Pokémon, but Pokémon Go does not have the feature yet, in spite of the debut trailer for the game advertising it almost a year ago. It sounds like it will be added into the game in the coming weeks with an update though, so you should be able to trade with friends for Pokémon species you don't have and can't find around you soon enough. Turning off AR. One of the main appeals of Pokémon Go is finding all these Pokémon in the real world around you, thanks to the AR tech that the game uses. However, AR, while cool as a novelty, can definitely have its downsides while playing too. AR drains your battery. People around you can misconstrue what you are doing and view your game as an invasion of their privacy. And AR also places constraints on catching Pokémon, since it demands that you always face the direction of the Pokémon originally popped up in, and within a certain distance of it. Turning AR off can sidestep these concerns entirely, and make catching Pokémon a whole lot easier than it would be otherwise.
Like this video? Why not give us a like and subscribe? We try and upload amazing videos almost every single day. Thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.